Welcome, and thank you for joining us in another journey into the past and into yourself. Share below where you are listening and what time it is. Tonight, we confront the parts of our psyche we hide the shadow. Let your shoulders relax, hear your breath slow, and prepare to meet the hidden facets of your soul in a safe, whispered exploration. In the quiet corners of our minds, there lies a shadow. It's a presence we often shy away from, a part of ourselves we'd rather not acknowledge. But what if I told you that this darkness holds the key to our most authentic selves? As I sit here, pen in hand, I can feel the weight of my own shadow. It's a familiar heaviness, one that I've carried for years without truly understanding its significance. But today, we're going to embark on a journey together, delving into the depths of our psyche to explore what Carl Jung called the shadow. Jung's concept of the shadow is like a hidden reservoir within us, filled with all the parts of ourselves we've pushed away. It's where we store our envy, our rage, our forbidden desires. These are the traits we've deemed unacceptable, the ones we've buried deep beneath layers of societal expectations and personal judgments. I remember the first time I truly confronted my own shadow. It was a moment of startling clarity, like catching a glimpse of a stranger in the mirror, only to realize you're looking at yourself. The flicker of self-doubt that followed was almost overwhelming. How could these dark impulses be a part of me? But as we continue on this path of self-discovery, we begin to see that our shadow isn't just present in our own minds. It manifests in how we perceive the world around us, particularly in our interactions with others. This is where the concept of projection comes into play. Have you ever found yourself inexplicably irritated by someone's behavior, only to realize later that you possess the very same trait? That's projection at work. We see our shadow reflected in the flaws of others, and it's often easier to point fingers than to look inward. I recall a time when I found myself constantly frustrated with a friend who I perceived as overly critical. It wasn't until I took a step back that I realized my own tendency towards harsh self-judgment. The very thing that irked me in her was a reflection of my own inner critic. This recognition can be uncomfortable, even painful. It's not easy to confront the parts of ourselves we've tried so hard to hide. But in this discomfort lies a profound opportunity for growth and self-acceptance. As we learn to recognize our shadow in others, we gain valuable insights into our own psyche. Each moment of irritation or judgment becomes a mirror, reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves we've yet to embrace. It's a challenging process, but one that leads to a deeper understanding of who we truly are. But the journey doesn't end with recognition. The true gift of shadow work lies in integration, the process of bringing these hidden parts of ourselves into the light. It's about acknowledging our full spectrum of emotions and traits, even the ones we've labeled as negative or undesirable. This integration is where the magic happens. As we embrace our shadow, we unlock a wellspring of creativity and authenticity that we never knew existed. It's like finding a key to a room in your house that you've never entered before, only to discover it's filled with treasures. I remember the first time I allowed myself to fully feel and express my anger, an emotion I had long repressed. It was terrifying at first, like unleashing a wild animal. But as I learned to channel this energy, I found a new depth to my writing, a raw honesty that had been missing before. This is the paradoxical gift of the shadow. The very traits we've pushed away out of fear or shame often hold the potential for our greatest strengths. Our envy can fuel ambition. Our rage can ignite passion. And our forbidden desires can lead us to unexplored territories of self-expression. The journey into our inner darkness is not an easy one. It requires courage, compassion, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. There will be moments of doubt, times when the weight of our shadow feels too heavy to bear. But with each step, we move closer to wholeness. As we continue this exploration, it's important to remember that shadow work is not about eradicating the darker aspects of our personality. It's about integration, about finding balance. Just as we need both day and night for a complete day, we need both our light and shadow to be whole. This journey is ongoing, a lifelong process of self-discovery and growth. There will always be new layers to uncover, new aspects of ourselves to explore. But with each revelation, we become more authentically ourselves. So I invite you to embrace your shadow, to look into the depths of your inner darkness with curiosity rather than fear. What hidden strengths might you discover? What creative potential lies dormant, waiting to be awakened? As we come to the end of our exploration today, I feel a sense of warmth spreading through me. It's the warmth of self-acceptance, of embracing all parts of who I am. And I hope that as you continue on your own journey of shadow work, you too will find this sense of wholeness and authenticity. Remember, in the dance between light and shadow, we find our truest selves. It's a beautiful, complex choreography, one that makes us uniquely human. As the candle's flame dances with your doubts, we'll move deeper learning practical shadow work practices that transform darkness into wholeness. In the quiet corners of our minds, shadows linger. They whisper truths we'd rather not hear, reflecting parts of ourselves we've hidden away. But what if, instead of running from these shadows, we turn to face them? What if we embrace the journey into our inner darkness? The path of shadow work is not an easy one. It requires courage, compassion, and a willingness to confront the aspects of ourselves we've long denied. As I stand at the threshold of this inner exploration, I feel a flutter of anxiety in my chest. Will I like what I find? Can I accept all parts of myself, even the ones that scare me? But there's also a glimmer of hope, a soft light guiding me forward. I take a deep breath, steadying myself for the journey ahead. The first step on this path is active imagination, a powerful tool for dialoguing with our shadow selves. I sit down with my journal, pen poised over blank pages. The room is quiet, save for the gentle scratch of ink on paper. I close my eyes, allowing my mind to wander into the depths of my subconscious. Slowly, an image forms, a figure shrouded in darkness, standing just beyond my reach. Who are you? I write, my hand trembling slightly. What do you want me to know? The words flow onto the page, seemingly of their own accord. The shadow speaks of fears I've buried, of anger I've suppressed, of desires I've deemed unacceptable. It's uncomfortable, hearing these truths laid bare. But as I continue to write, I feel a subtle shift within me. The act of acknowledging these hidden hearts brings a strange sense of relief. I set my pen down, taking a moment to breathe. The process of active imagination can be intense, stirring up emotions long forgotten. But it's also incredibly revealing, offering glimpses into the corners of our psyche we rarely explore. As the days pass, I find myself returning to this practice, each session peeling back another layer of my inner world. Sometimes I use creative visualization, imagining myself in conversation with different aspects of my shadow. Other times, I let the words flow freely onto the page, surprised by the insights that emerge. But shadow work isn't just about internal dialogue. It also involves facing our reflection, quite literally. Mirror work, another powerful technique in this journey, beckons me forward. I stand before the mirror, my reflection staring back at me. There's a moment of hesitation, a flicker of self-doubt. Can I really do this? But I push through, taking a deep breath as I begin to speak. I am worthy of love and acceptance, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. I watch my reflection carefully, noting the subtle changes in my expression. There's a tightness around my eyes, a slight downturn of my lips. These micro-reactions speak volumes, revealing the wounds that lie beneath the surface. As I continue with my affirmations, I feel a mix of emotions bubbling up. There's resistance, certainly, parts of me that don't believe these words. But there's also a growing sense of warmth, a gentle acceptance of my whole self, shadows and all. Day by day, I return to the mirror. Sometimes it's easy, the affirmations flowing naturally. Other times it's a struggle, each word feeling like a battle against my inner critic. But slowly, I begin to notice changes. The tension in my face eases. My voice grows stronger, more confident. This work isn't always comfortable. There are days when I want to turn away, to retreat back into the safety of denial. But I've come to understand that true growth lies in facing these challenges head-on. As I continue on this path of shadow work, I begin to notice subtle shifts in my daily life. The integration of these hidden parts of myself brings unexpected outcomes. I find myself responding to others with greater empathy, understanding that everyone carries their own shadows. My emotional resilience grows stronger. The things that once sent me spiraling now feel more manageable. I'm able to sit with difficult emotions, acknowledging them without being overwhelmed. Perhaps most notably, I feel a newfound sense of authenticity in my self-expression. No longer am I trying to present a perfectly curated version of myself to the world. Instead, I'm learning to embrace all aspects of who I am, the light and the dark, the beautiful and the flawed. This journey into inner darkness isn't always easy. There are moments of doubt, times when I question whether it's worth the effort. But then I catch a glimpse of my reflection, not in a mirror, but in the eyes of those around me. I see a person who is more whole, more genuine, more alive. The path of shadow work is ongoing. There will always be new depths to explore, new aspects of ourselves to integrate. But with each step, we move closer to true self-acceptance and understanding. As I reflect on this journey, I'm filled with a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the courage to face my shadows, for the tools that have guided me along the way, and for the growth that has come from this inner work. If you've resonated with any part of this journey, know that you're not alone. We all carry shadows within us, waiting to be acknowledged and integrated. Perhaps this is the moment for you to begin your own exploration. And if you found value in these words, in this glimpse into the world of shadow work, I invite you to share this message with others. Like and subscribe if you'd like to continue this journey together, exploring the depths of our inner worlds and the transformative power of self-acceptance. Remember, in embracing our shadows, we don't diminish our light. We become more fully ourselves in all our complex, beautiful humanity.